7:30 Eastern, Saturday night on ABC. So look, there's a lot of news here for UCLA. One of the best defenders, the Pac-12 Player of the Year, your boy Latu, he opted out. He's going to the NFL. One of their best corners, John Humphrey, hit the portal. One of their best safeties, Kamari Ransby, hit the portal. One of their other safeties, William Nimmo, hit the portal. Their tight end, Carson Ryan, portal. Wide receiver, Cam Brown, although he hasn't played since week 9, portal. Keegan Jones, part-time contributor. Then Dante Moore, quarterback. We already talked about him. He was part of the rotation, portal. You have Ethan Garber as a quarterback. Chip Kelly said he should be okay after suffering injury in week 13. UCLA also has defensive tackle Gary Smith, who missed the final 2 regular season games with an injury. We'll see if he is available. Starting running back Carson Steele hasn't been at practice the past 2 days. Don't know what's going on with him.
Why?
Defensive coordinator Denton Lynn, he went to USC. The quarterback coach Ryan Gunderson went to Oregon State as the OC. And look, this UCLA team had high aspirations. They do get to play in SoFi and Inglewood, but down the stretch they lost to Cal and Arizona State at home. All these guys are opting out. How much they really care to play Boise, I will say. And this line, by the way, is out to at the time we're recording it, is out to UCLA -4. And there was a couple tout services that released it, which is why that took money. I don't necessarily agree with that move. Over under 49.5. Now, on Boise's side, you have Spencer Danielson, the new head coach who came in, promoted to he was the interim, promoted to full-time head coach. They don't have a quarterback though, which is their starting quarterback Taylor Green hit the portal. He's gone to Arkansas. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second. Their other quarterback, Maddox Madsen, they were splitting time during the year. He's out for the year with an injury. So true freshman CJ Tiller is going to get the start. Everyone else that was with the team looks like they're going to play. And, so when I look at this game, one of the things that really, and look, I know a couple people that are really close to the Boise program. You could tell how they closed the year. This team really cares and really wants to win. And like Genty coming back to the team, I think was a huge sign. He could have went anywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to know what you're going to get with Tiller. What Boise is going to do here, and they were already doing this down the stretch. They were running it like 70-75% of the time. They're going to run this. They're going to run the ball 80-90% of the time in this game.
Yep.
They have a healthy Holani. They got a healthy Genty. Can you do that against UCLA? No, in a vacuum during the regular season. I don't think they would be able to do that. But without Latu and with some of these other opt-outs, and if UCLA doesn't really care, they might have some success there. The Boise State defense isn't anything to write home about. They played better down the stretch. Their secondary is still bad, but I don't think that's something UCLA can really exploit. So I'm just not sure UCLA really cares here. I think Boise does, running dog with really good, like with a pro running back and two really good running backs in this game. I'm leaning Boise. Definitely have them in a round robin. I think there's a huge care differential here. I believe in this Boise team really wants it. Not sure with UCLA. And these opt-outs are big and long. What do you see here?
Well, the opt-outs are really what make the handicap in this game, because when you look at who is out, their best corner, John Humphrey, and a couple of these just hit in the last like 36 hours. So I have no clue why it's all of a sudden starting to trickle. But corner John Humphrey hit the portal yesterday, 4 PBUs on the year. Safety Kamari Ramsey, you mentioned him, 3 PBUs on the year. But these are guys in the secondary. And even without Latu, they still have a very stingy front seven that can stop the run. And that is the entire handicap of this bowl game is, can you stop Ashton Genty, George Holani, everything that's going to happen on the ground? Because UCLA is missing their secondary, but who's going to throw into that secondary now that Taylor Green's not there? Now, I saw that Colt Fulton was most likely going to get the start at quarterback, a 6'4" kid that Bush Hamden called an assistant coach. So, I mean, nobody's throwing deep on this UCLA team that's on this roster. So, really, the handicap all comes down to, can you stop Ashton Genty? Boise runs a high success rate and explosiveness out of man and outside zone. But you have to remember those yards and that success rate we're looking at. 15% of that belongs to Taylon Green, especially in outside zone. That's all him. So I kind of throw that one out the window. They need to line Ash Genty up in man blocking schemes and just run him straight up the middle. UCLA has average success rate in EPA against man and outside zone. Now they've lost Latu, which is really a big deal in passing downs. He's one of the best pressure makers in all of college football. As far as UCLA goes, I don't see Colin Schlee or Ethan Garbers getting anything going here against quarters and cover one, which is what Boise runs. The total is down for legitimate reasons here. I mean,
this should be another under. I like this under.
Yeah, no Boise quarterback. UCLA quarterback situation has been a dumpster fire since day one. UCLA rush defense is intact and can stop Genty as of now. That could change after we get done podcasting. Boise's defense is just 43rd in havoc. The way to beat UCLA is put havoc in the backfield, and Boise has been so on doing that this year. So to me, if Gronk's going to come out there and dance and sing and have so many breaks and like get these teams out of rhythm, give me a first half under here. This thing sounds like a circus show anyway. So I want a first half under, full game under. And also is there a coaching mismatch here? There's a coaching and tackling mismatch. I mean, UCLA, do you trust them to have better halftime adjustments than Spencer Danielson with Chip Kelly? So, it's something I'll be looking at live and something I'm going to deep dive into more about Chip Kelly. But, I
also just don't know if UCLA will care. I know that Boise's going to care. Remember when I talked to him. Now, they're not UCLA is the more talented team. And now you got to account for the opt-outs. And the quarterback for Boise throws this all into a wrench. Tiller's getting all the 1 reps. Fulton is getting like 10% of the 1 reps right now as of today. He could get he'll probably get, a couple drives to see what he looks like. But they're going to run it. It's not even going to matter. They're going to try to run it 80-90% of the time. Genty's got to break a couple because they're not going to have any success rate. But UCLA losing 33-7 in the finale at home to Cal. They lost 17-7 to Arizona State at home 2 weeks before that. They lost, 27-10 to UCLA. To Arizona. Like they stumbled down the stretch. Team that had high expectations. These opt-outs kind of signal that and then you have coaches that have left too.
Right.
Do they really care? But Boise they might not be able to run it, and then their quarterback might not be able to complete a pass, and then they're done.
I mean, a lot of people like to use that care thing and run with it, but I think it actually applies here because I go back to Pac-12 media days, and I still remember this. When Chip Kelly, I asked him about what was the process of getting Carson Steele. The second we saw his name fall in the transfer portal, I was on a flight out to Muncie, Indiana. That is where his priority is. If you go and look at the transfer portal right now, they've already pulled a safety from San Diego State, right? I mean, Chip's already working and if a name comes up in the transfer portal, is he going to hop on a plane and go out immediately like to sacrifice bowl preparations? Yeah, he is.
Because their really good DC is gone too.
Yeah, and Danton Lynn being gone is what a get for USC. That it might make me like them next year, which already makes me want to throw up in my mouth. But no, if you're going to say a head coach doesn't care about a bowl game and rather focus on the transfer portal, I think Chip Kelly would be the prime candidate.